You've gotten me to that place where it's like a pinpoint in a desert full of sand. Okay, and I think that's where I don't know how to express my gratitude to you, Vinita, for bringing me here, because it makes me feel much lighter than what I was when I got into this conversation. I said, oh my God, I'm going to explore this. What will happen? Where will I get to? Will I be able to get anywhere? Where are my concerns? But I think I've uh, been more than adequately helped by you to get to the most precise point, which I feel so um, elated to be in that point where I am right now.
Hi all. Okay, in a few minutes we're going to start, and wherever you're logging in from, tell us where you are and how you. Um, Benita, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you as our coach today. And Johnny, ah, my heart is joined us today.
Thank you, Cindy. It's a pleasure to be with you at this platform along with Johnny. Both are inspiring me all the time.
And join me in congratulating Benita, who became a master coach just a few weeks ago. And, it's such a path that she has chosen or agreed or allowed us to experience a coaching. Thank you, Benita, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, let me tell you about today's session or how it will go. We are going to, Benita will do some live coaching with Johnny. It would take around 40 minutes. And thereafter, we'll have a discussion. And as we're listening to the coaching, you and I, we can engage on the chat box and talk about what we're noticing and the beautiful partnering between coach and client. So we'll chat on the chat box. Feel free to send your comments and your thoughts, especially around the partnering between coach and client. And if there's any questions, drop it into the Q&A box so we can isolate and it wouldn't lose itself in a chat that normally runs quite fast. So, Benita, I'm going to hand over to you and I'll stay in the background talking. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Johnny.
So, thank you, Johnny, for choosing me your thinking partner today once again. And before we begin, let me thanks in advance to all coaches who are background um, in escorting Johnny's space with due respect, trust, and non-judgmental approach in advance. So, Johnny, in this co-creative space, what you want to bring for discussion?
First of all, thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Vinita, for having this conversation with me. And this is something that I've been wanting to explore a while now, is about my focus on my health. And I want to, if possible, unpack it so that I can have some visibility as to what is going on, because I know there is something which is going on in the background, um, yet I thought this will be a good opportunity today for me to stop by, take a look, peep into it, and see if I can make some sense out of it.
Mhm. So you want to unpack something about your health.
Mm.
Uh, can you example it, Johnny, a little bit more about it, that what you feel that it is packed?
So it's like this, Vinita. I'm a very health conscious person, and I've been on drugs for hypertension from a very early age, and I'm actually dependent on medication for that since almost 30 years now, 3.5 decades now. And as probably you are aware, in our previous conversations, I think we've mentioned that I discovered in the beginning of 2020 that my blood sugar was very high. It was alarmingly high. And my doctor friends from Denver, who's a childhood friend of mine, said, if I were anywhere close to you, I would have put you in a bed in a hospital to control it. It was so high. And what came to my mind was that I want to figure out a way to use food as a way to bring down my sugar, or because I figured that um, diabetes is a result of food. It's caused by food patterns. So therefore, if that is the cause, then it can also cause it to be brought down. And with that, I went on a journey. And what was 340 in the month of January 2020, I have been able to bring it down to sub 90s now. And in the process, I've also managed to shed some weight, which is about 15 kilos. All said and done, I think it's a great journey. It was very exciting for me. So what I want to unpack today, Benita, is the fact that it doesn't excite me anymore. I think over the last 2.5 years through the pandemic, I have managed to maintain my sugar levels and my weight. And there was no, there was a lot of excitement of having to get onto this journey and having gotten this result. I got this result within about 6 months from my start. I found the food that actually brings down my sugar. And I must state here that I actually brought down my sugar without taking even a single dosage of metformin, leave alone insulin, right? So I was very excited. Now, what I'm noticing now is that I'm not as excited about the whole thing. And that's precisely what I want to unpack and find out what might be that which is going on in the background, perhaps. I don't know. Because, when you work on a laptop, there are a lot of things working in the background, and I get my Norton prompt, which says, while this was happening, this happened in the background and things like that. So I'm curious to understand, and Cindy spoke about curiosity. I'm curious to understand what might be happening in the background for me to feel not as excited as I was about my health.
I heard you, Johnny, and I want to acknowledge first the 6 month journey which you have to. It's a really, really remarkable that without using any allopathy medicine, just with the awareness of food, you reach to that target. And I love the background metaphor of your laptop, and just thinking, and help me out here. What's the laptop looks like here about your health, which could be the background?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question. I think I was thinking about it through the day when I had some break as to what could be the laptop background. Um, I survived a near fatal accident with my wife in the month of February 2021. I also, this different waves that we went through in the pandemic of COVID has also got me into this thing of processing in the background that there is this impermanence of life, and almost being there at the face of death and then coming back through the power of universe. It's made me think, what is this excitement about controlling your sugar when you don't know what's going to happen next moment? So there was, I think, if I were to look at my excitement about being health conscious, it was to live. And I think at this stage in my life, I'm not very excited about living. I don't know if I'm saying that, but I think that's perhaps what is going on in the background. I do not know. The background is saying that, it's impermanent. It's impermanent. It's. I would like to unpack that a bit, if I can.
What I understood till now, Johnny, and as I know about you, that there is something which has excited. The journey begins, and now that excitement is somewhere has dropped, or I'd say, is that what can I use this word? And now you want to take this exploration time to figure it out, what is unpacked, how to unpack it, where that excitement gone. Am I understanding it clearly?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And since you mentioned about the laptop and the background working and the way you explain now about the life, impermanency, and the way you speak, shall I share my observation about it? It's appearing that you are saying that your laptop is giving you a message that batteries are never permanent. It need to change.
Absolutely.
Or it need to charge.
Yes. Yes.
Is it what, and how is resonate with your feeling of, or your excitement or curiosity, which you mentioned, you are curious to unpack it, how it resonate with it?
I mean, you're bang on, Vinita, because I'm using a laptop, and just a few weeks back, I thought it is almost the end of the road for the laptop and I have to find a new laptop. And I took it to the service center and they said, you just have to change the battery. Right. And it's working perfectly fine. Now, I just had to invest in a new battery. They said we will have to observe the pattern and see if there is a motherboard issue and stuff like that. But I think, to my luck, it was just the battery. And they just procured a new piece from their stock, which is somewhere else. And it took 5 minutes to kind of change the battery, and the laptop is back in action.
And I'm wondering here, Johnny, if battery is at a place of impermanent, where you are in the laptop.
I think I'm the laptop. And there's so many things working inside me parallelly, serially, and stuff like that. I think, and battery is also part of the laptop. So I feel that my daughter was telling me even 2 days back that it was a big wake up for her. That she felt lonely suddenly at the time of that accident. And she said, I could have lost both of you at the same time. Because if I were to see the car, if you see the picture of the car, it is very difficult to even believe that we are still alive. Right. So My question is, therefore, what is this big excitement about controlling sugar and having lost weight and all of that, when just one accident can change everything?
Hmm.
Right? I think that's yeah, that's what is because at the time of accident, it's not because my blood sugar was normal that I survived. I think the universe had plans for me to come back and be with my mother, my daughter, and also the number of people that I meet on work on a daily basis. I think, yeah, I think as I'm unpacking, again, this unpacking has something to do with the laptop because it is defragging, it's defragmenting the whole thing. And as I defrag, I feel that there are things that can be packed again in a way that will release more storage space. And as I'm speaking with you and as I'm conversing with you, Vinita, I'm also realizing that I just have to unpack and repack. So defrag and fragment. The fragmented pieces can be defragged and then packed again, which happens even in the laptop. Uh, I don't know why I picked up the laptop today. uh, I'm realizing that there is a lot of space being freed up,
Hmm.
which can be used for a lot of stuff.
Hmm. Uh, you mentioned that, see, why you picked up the laptop and the way you are connecting your curiosity of unpacking health issue. Every time the laptop mechanism is opening up, that you yourself recognize yourself as a laptop, and the health is that battery. This, if suppose we go able to open up or unpack this thing, Johnny, what makes it important right now for you to unpack it?
Because I'm a very every day I feel excited when I check myself on the weighing scale, when I use my glucometer, I get excited, and I find that that excitement was kind of sliding down.
Mhm.
So I wanted to understand if I'm giving up, because this happened back in 2004
Hmm.
when I was looking at uh, monitoring my cholesterol levels, brought it down to a level which was triglycerides and HDL, LDL, everything was under control. And then I didn't realize that I took a U-turn.
Hmm.
And it culminated in me getting to this 340. This started in the 2018 when I actually let loose when I went to US for the first time on a holiday,
Mhm.
and I just went and had my uh, I gorged on all the carbs that I was staying away for all those years.
Hmm.
And I think so. I this is important because I think that's a very important question, Vinita. I think I didn't want to get into a U-turn without my knowledge
Mhm.
yet again at this stage, because I can ill afford that U-turn
Hmm.
uh, going forward in my life now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So U-turn is not coming, I would say, permission boundary of laptop or so-called journey, that no, without your awareness, it should not be. And what would make it a straight line moving forward?
Yeah, I think I am fond of driving. I think the U-turn came through that uh, that world of mine. I think I'm just realizing when you ask that question, it is not possible to be on a straight line for me,
Mhm.
because whenever I do my drive on the highway, it is more of the destination than and the pleasure of driving. And I'm not very excited about straight roads.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm also not very excited about cruise control.
Mhm.
Right, I need to have my feel on the accelerator. I need to have the feel of the roads having a little bit of thing. The U-turn in my um, context was, there was a time when my wife and I were driving from Bangalore to Chennai, and on the highway there is a particular place where at Krishnagiri we have to take a left turn to Chennai.
Mhm.
Both of us were into a deep conversation, and we realized only after 40 kilometers of that turn that we have to take a U-turn and come back to go to Chennai. Because if we had continued, we would have reached my hometown where my mother lives, which is in Cochin, but we were
Okay.
headed to Chennai.
Mhm.
So that's a U-turn that I would want to avoid, because uh, that is not what I want in the driving process. But it's not even straight line. It is to be in that road, which as the road takes the curve, yet get to the destination.
Hmm. It's quite amazing, Johnny, about your driving experience. And I'm wondering that who has been in this journey's conversation with Johnny when he is so conscious about his health. He made lots of efforts as if he's driving his car very consciously, enjoying the each and every cut and thing. And somewhere he is ahead to the point from where he has to maintain the journey to the destination of health.
Right.
So who came in between?
That's my curiosity, actually. I wish I knew that. But at the same time, Benita, when you said that I made a lot of effort, I don't feel I made a lot of effort,
Hmm.
because from the day one, it with my glucometer, I came to my current eating habits based on elimination and inclusion process. Okay, I would be looking at my sugar levels 1 hour after food. What was it before food? 1.5 hours after food, 2 hours after food. And I learned that different people have different peaks of postprandial.
Mhm.
And clinical labs will tell you, come 2 hours after breakfast for your postprandial, which is not right. Because for me, my sugar peaks at 1 hour from food. And then 1.5 hours, it starts declining. And in 2 hours, it would have declined. So all these years, I would have gone and done my sugar test. So I kind of enjoyed this whole experimentation process, and it
Hmm.
didn't feel like a lot of effort for me.
Hmm.
However, a U-turn makes it feel like an effort, because
Hmm.
then you have to go find a underpass. You have to go to the other side of the highway, and then through the service lane go to the main, then get to that right uh, turn. That is an effort. So what is coming up for me as I'm speaking with you, Vinita, is that um, my need to avoid a U-turn,
Hmm.
and this lack of excitement on this health parameters, my fear is that it might lead me to, without my knowledge,
Hmm.
lose my way, and then, oh my god,
Hmm.
I have to do something, right?
Hmm. It's a need here, and it has taken I would say, a thought of fear also here, Johnny.
Hmm.
And I'm also equally curious along with you that what is that missing element which has taken away the excitement in this journey where I'm enjoying the straight road and don't want to be a person who is going to take a U-turn. If somehow we come across this lost excitement, how we are going to recognize it?
It's a very interesting question, and I wish I had a straight off the cuff answer to that. I I think have been feeling this intuitively for the last maybe 3-4 weeks, that I have not been very excited about looking at my blood sugar numbers, and not being very excited about um, following what I have gotten into in following the kind of food habits. And something I think intuitively told me that, hey, listen, please wake up.
Mhm.
Because for 2 years, I was absolutely, in fact, I have not done any till from 2018 to 2020. I didn't do any blood test or anything. I think that was, I think, a latent fear that if I, and the loss of interest is a symptom
Hmm.
of my going off on the wrong route. And therefore, I think this exploration is helping me to stay on track, I think.
Hmm. Let's share one observation here,
Please.
Johnny. When you described about your journey or your joy of effortless joy of taking care of your health, you begin with a bang in your statement. I want to live. I want to live, and it was unsaid, incomplete sentence. I was just sensing that is Johnny saying about live fully, and I took care of my health because I want to live.
Right.
And
Right.
in between, I'm sorry, and in between, you brought about your daughter's statement that she was emotional about being losing you. She was feeling lonely. There was a dip,
Hmm.
and I stuck in that observation that what is it about life which has excited Johnny to be careful about his health, or it's something
Right.
else?
Right. Yeah. So that's a very, very great observation, Vinita, because for me, I am doing all of this with excitement, not to add days to my life.
Hmm.
However, I want to add life to my days.
Hmm.
Whatever is there, I want to live. And then you said it. You just took the words out of my mouth.
Hmm. It's beautiful, Johnny. I want to acknowledge this point.
Yeah.
That this is something which is coming up on your face also. And when you said this, how are you feeling exactly right now?
I feel, there's a sense of looking forward to, there's
Mhm.
a sense of, when I started this conversation, Benita, to be frank, I've had a feeling of resignation.
Mm.
What is this for and why? But now I think there is something that I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not the quantum of time that I'm going to live, but the quality of life that I want to live.
Mhm. And how it makes you feel by saying this?
It makes me feel very good because um, that's what counts for me. Like I was telling somebody, that I would like to breathe out of this body when I'm doing what I love doing the most, whatever that is, and not staring at some kind of an instrument panel in an ICU in some hospital.
See, I'm getting that sense of vibes, what you are talking about, Johnny. And because I'm a co-partner in this thinking, I'm still curious. Is it the same thing or something else which can partner to enhance or to answer your excitement to take care of your health?
See, it never seemed like I had to take care of. I keep hearing comments from my near and dear ones all the
Mhm,
time that it's so easy for him to follow whatever diet he wants to follow, because it doesn't feel like I'm following a diet, because I look forward to the food that I'm going to eat. Today I'm going to have a delayed dinner.
mhm,
By now I would have finished my dinner normally.
mhm,
Uh, I can with excitement look forward to the dinner.
mhm,
And it's not wheat or rice.
mhm.
It's something made out of coconut flour. It's something, but I just enjoy it. There's a lot of excitement.
And what is telling you?
I think this is telling me that, oftentimes this thought uh, I have ignored. I think this time I stopped by, took a pause, and I said, let me just unpack it, so
Mhm,
that you don't cross the turning and go 50 kilometers ahead and then say, oh my god, I have to take a U-turn. I
mhm,
think I can stay on path now.
mhm. And where you find yourself uh, further in this exploration.
I find a kind of a rejuvenation
Mhm,
of what I felt on the 26th of January 2020, when I bought this instrument, which is my glucometer. And I have the same excitement right now
mhm,
to be able to work with this and uh, live with excitement, add life to my days and not days to my life.
mm. And what thought will take you straight with this excitement going forward?
That word that you also mentioned in your observation is that life, full of life, not life full of ailment.
Okay. Interesting, Johnny. Just want to check with you. Uh, are we are on track in your exploration of unpacking?
I don't think we are on track. We are on the precise point, not
Okay.
just on the track, because
Mhm,
on the track it's linear. Okay, it can be anywhere on the track, but I think where we've reached is precisely where I wanted to get to, and that's what I'm realizing right now.
mhm,
You've gotten me to that place where it's like a pinpoint in a desert full of sand.
mhm, mhm,
Okay, and I think that's where I don't know how to express uh, my gratitude to you, Vinita, for bringing me here, because it makes me feel much lighter than what I was when I got into this conversation. I said, oh my God, I'm going to explore this. What will happen? Where will I get to? Will I be
mhm,
able to get anywhere? Where
mhm,
are my concerns? But I think I've uh, been more than adequately helped by you to get to the most precise point, which I feel so um, elated to be in that point where I am right now, because I can feel in my entire body that excitement of having worked, uh, and all my doctor friends are saying, "Wow, this is amazing that you've not even taken a single dosage of metformin, and you have brought it down from 340 to sub 90." I still have to do my A1C, and I will do that, and I'm sure it's going to be within limits. And it's this conversation has also increased my excitement to go and do that. I've been blaming the pandemic, saying, "Oh, I can't go to a lab." But during the accident, I went every day for dressing my wounds and all of that. The same lab, I am hesitating to go and do my A1C, but I think I want to do that as soon as possible and do my blood work, and see how much more excitement I can add to my life as I move forward.
I can I can sense the speed of your words now and the energy which is upsurging.
Yes.
So am I hearing correctly? The action point is that you are going to get your test done.
Yes, I'm going to get my test done, and I've got the prescription for the test, and it's still lying in my right. And I'm going to
Right.
get all of this done
Mhm.
without any delay, and there is no fear of the pandemic or COVID. I think this is the point where I can't believe I've got to this point.
If I have to ask you this now, let's suppose you are going to the lab for your test.
Hmm.
What's a feeling or emotion will carry you to that lab?
It is like uh, going to a place where you are going to see your result when you know that you've done your exam so well.
Okay. Okay.
It's no surprise that you find your number or your name in the list of people who have cleared. Yeah,
Anything we are missing, Johnny, here?
absolutely nothing, Vinita. I think you now I know what an MCC is. Seriously.
I see this is your humbleness, Johnny, and I duly respect your openness and your candidature for this discussion in such an open forum. I'm really, really thankful. And if you think that you reached to the meaningful point, is it good time to take pause?
Absolutely, and I would want to acknowledge the way in which I didn't even realize that I got where I wanted to get, and
Mhm.
that's the beauty of how this conversation went. And thank you very much, Vinita, for having agreed to have this conversation with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we are through.
Hmm. So I feel like I did at the moment. Did you feel that, Lisa?
Yeah. The energy of
Oh,
Johnny is creating goosebumps the way he wind up.
yeah, yeah. Johnny, you're very special, very open, and the kind of person or that goes into a deep dive and brings out so much more of themselves. Um, of course, with the coaches, mm, powerful reflections and questioning. But I want to acknowledge also the place you went, and I'm grateful that we got to experience that.
I do it because I'm a very selfish person.
Hmm?
I want to get maximum out of whatever I do in these conversations, because um, it is it is me who is benefiting from this. So therefore, I would like to take maximum out of it. You won't find anybody who is as selfish as I am.
Yeah. Vinita, what do you want to acknowledge, Johnny, that you already did it, that you didn't already, I should say?
I just want to acknowledge his openness and his, though he used the word selfish, but this is his awareness that he want to engage how he work, how he goes automatically deep and come back with the different metaphors to explain his own self, that what he is saying. It's so beautiful at his part.
Mm. And a big acknowledgement to you, Vinita, the way you use coach language, coach imagery, analogy that client's imagery and analogy that client was bringing forward. And there were quite a few of them. But I love the way you brought it in and reflected back to client. I find another way to say that. It's like you didn't allow any kind of markers to interfere with the way the coach was sharing. Lovely. I just want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add to what you're saying, Cindy. I think more than the reflection of my words and my language, those were like crutches for me. The way she made those supporting sounds, they were like, they were like uh, soft rose petals on a bed of thorn. And I think that is one thing that I always admire in Vinita, the way she is, she's natural presence in that whole journey. I just don't have to worry if I'm going to get lost.
Yeah. Because it's very powerful what you're saying, Johnny. Because if you don't have to worry about getting lost or sidetracked or taking U-turns, you just keep going into growth and deeper sharing and what you want from the session, right? It's not in any way doing any kind of interfering with clients' beingness, most important beingness, because that did come across this kind of, you were doing this, pinpointing it. You were doing this with your hand. When you said the coach helped you pinpoint exactly what you wanted and the space you were. So it feels like all by the way you engaged with what was presented to you was beautifully done by the coach. Yeah. I like the way your body so engaged fully in that conversation with Vinita. I mean, you went and came back there and you did something there and yeah.
Yes, that's how I felt when she said, "Are we on the road?" I said, "Not just the road, which is very linear and long. It's the
Mm,
precise point where I wanted to." And she got me there. And it is not even a road, it's like a sand dune, desert. Because I didn't know where I was headed when I started.
mm,
See, what I learned so far, Cindy, here, when the client express with examples and metaphors, they start getting their own validation and their own. If you notice that Johnny said, "Why I brought laptop here?" Because that example is not giving the full meaning, and the moment it went to the road, it has given open up a new avenue. So I think the usage, if we insist for an example for connecting or expressing their feelings, it supports a lot in deep diving.
yeah. And of course, I felt like the more Johnny was raising in his own imagery and analogies, he was like beginning to connect all those dots, 2020, what his daughter said, like all those dots were beginning to connect into something meaningful for the client. It's lovely to see that happen. And the way you engaged with it, Vinita, was so masterful.
Mm.
So, for example, it could have been, what does that mean for you? Or what does that word? You didn't do that. You went so beautifully into the wholeness of the meaningfulness, versus picking out something and dissecting it. You remain engaged with the whole person. I should say the 5.1 in your piece. Yeah.
Right.
So, our participants and coaches on the call, questions for Vinita or Johnny? Curiosity in unpacking and staying aligned with the client was wonderful. Yeah, agreed. The pace of the conversation. Yeah, it was no rush, say that. I also love that. Curiosity has this word groundedness in it. Coaches, did you notice how grounded the conversation was? And you don't need to be a master coach to feel grounded in your conversation. Anybody can feel grounded in it. And if you're not, then practice some techniques or something for yourself before your session. Do some practicing, take a few breaths, do a short meditation, take a walk, make tea, do whatever helps you remain groundedness so that when you come to coaching, you already begin to embody a coaching mindset, still and grounded. Mm. And if you're wondering about things and had your own questions that you wanted to ask Johnny, I'm feeling many of you did, also know that no two coaches ever coach alike. No brains are alike. No two coaches will coach alike. But that's a good thing, right? Because you're partnering with your client on the journey they're on and fully engaging with what the client is offering in that journey.
I agree on this point, Cindy. Uh, it's not about who is your client in front of you and who you are as a coach. It's a conversation which gives you the position that from where you are talking. When I was listening, Johnny, um, there was a sensation, the way he was explaining or sharing about the accident, the way he was very excited about the way he he was aware of his practice of food and the way he takes. So everything is that in that moment it was giving that something is coming up as a teaching point for you to understand. And I was understanding that what John is saying. And when we are talking about the curiosity, the questions which has come out is just what I didn't understand what he was saying. And that has come up in that conversation. And I don't know how much it has fallen in the competences, but out of curiosity, whatever he is trying to explain me, how much I understood and what I didn't has come as query to Johnny in that conversation.
Yeah, that's a very good point that we shouldn't keep, it's important to learn competencies. We all are coaches. And as we engage on our coaching journey, that is the body of what we all are core competencies. But that's what it is. It's core competencies. And around it, as you're working with different clients, you have layers of thought provoking and creativity. And that is, of course, very focused in a conversation. It's an addition to the core. And we don't, if you just stay focused with the client and responsive to client, the competencies begin to show up. Like that evoking awareness marker that I thought, oh, how beautiful. Because Johnny spoke about the curve in the road as what was getting in the way, curves. And Benita's question was around how do you want to keep straight? That's going from current to beyond, to more. Just staying with exactly what the client was offering. How beautiful that was done. Yeah. Did you notice that? Or you just was coaching?
No, I was just clarifying myself in that conversation that you don't like U-turns, and you said that there is no excitement on going straight also. So where it has lost, with whom you were talking, that was because he has given example that while talking to her wife, he was just lost in the conversation that he missed the cut. And I was curious that he's giving me this example in context to what he want to figure it out, where my excitement has lost. So I was trying to connect that dot, which I didn't understand, or I not got it from his point. So that is again coming from the curiosity. Is it had some connection to it or not? So that is the query about it. Why you don't want to be a straight? And then he said, no, I don't like to come U-turn, and it has fallen the life. What we missed here, Cindy, in your observation, because it's a learning space and it's your master class.
What's the best? Is that what you're asking?
What we missed, or what I missed in this conversation.
Oh, no. I just thought your engagement with John was beautifully done. I'm not evaluating you for heaven's sake, no.
No, it's all about the learning. The learning space remains always open. So that's right. From that curiosity point, I asked you that what could be.
Okay, I'll ask you a curious question. They came to this point, this very succinct point for Johnny, urged in him.
I lost you, Cindy, your voice.
Okay, they came to this point where Johnny had this clarity. Like, his voice had this conviction of this clarity showing up in it. And I wondered whether we should have asked Johnny about what new was showing up, or if there was any new learning showing up in this process that he had taken with you.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And was any kind of new practices or something that he wanted to anchor for himself? Would that he could repeatedly do it to?
Yeah. I do agree with this point, and that's why I asked Johnny when he showed me that, okay, this is my test, I have to go for a lab, and I asked him that okay, with which emotion or feeling you want to be in to go for that test. Will you go with that unpacked excitement or anchoring? And prior to that also, I asked him that what's new is coming, or what sort of thought you will give yourself to remind this. Is that the same word, life to my days?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you even pulled out the action without asking the client, what's your action, Yeah. The action was an emergent part of the conversation. Lovely. Johnny, what would you have liked to be asked more of? You say anything that you felt that you would have liked to have been asked?
I would have loved to be asked this question of what's different this time as you move forward from all the times that you've had in the past?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What a lovely question. It's a lovely offer, Johnny. Thank you.
Right. It will take us somewhere to finding out the cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
And the pauses and silence between both of you was also quite noticeable to, for us to listen to and view. There was enough more pieces of reflection, silence, and pauses. Unhurried coaching.
And still it has winded up before 40 minutes. So we were
Yes,
very
yeah.
This is what I think is what people call as laser sharp coaching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we may be onto some shorter sessions, right? Very sharp.
Yeah.
Impactful. Rounding up, Kumar, do you want to say anything before I do the as we're rounding up, please?
It was beautiful, Cindy. I'm just following the chat and I'm like, oh my God, everybody is so connected and in tune with the session that we witnessed just now. And it was beautiful. It was like as if you're like watching a very engaging series or something going on. So, and the beautiful flow that was happening was really, really amazing. Yeah. And what I really noticed is that it wasn't just Vinita very comfortable in the space of not knowing, not understanding, and being very, very authentic about it. But Johnny also, as a client, was in a very curious space. And it's like, I'm curious to unpack, I'm curious to know. And then it was like both have been at a very shared platform. And connected so well together. It was beautiful to witness.
Hmm. Yeah. Coaches, anything else you want to say to round up today's session? Please type it into the chat box. And Vinita, I'll let you and Johnny round up. Anything you want to say?
Johnny.
Johnny, you want to go first?
I'm going back much lighter and much clearer and much livelier. I'm going to enjoy my dinner actually. Looking forward to what I'm going to eat, and also can't wait to get my blood work done. And that's the power of this conversation. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Vinita, Cindy, and Coacharya for this opportunity for me to unpack, defrag, and pack.
We should be thanking you. You allowed us into your space so generously. We all, including Coacharya, thanks you.
And somebody
Thank you,
had
Johnny.
asked in the chat box that if a link to this session would be available. So yes, all the webinars are recorded and put on the Coacharya YouTube channel. So you can subscribe there and you can go there and look into the past conversations and webinars that have happened. And this one will be put by Friday, I guess. And Johnny, I guess there are some people who would really want to connect with you and want to ask you like what you did in those 6 months.
Vinita will do an action and it will be revealed. Vinita, what do you want to say to complete?
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Komal. And thank you very, very much, Johnny, for your space. And thank you all peer coaches who really supported and escorted this space of both of us. And I'm very sorry, Johnny, for breaking your rule and discipline of taking dinner at time. I will be mindful of it in future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll have you sharing this with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.